Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Loving Life. I am here to help you create a life that you love. I'm Tamaria, and I'm here to talk to you about a powerful concept around mindsets, which is our beliefs. And what is it that you believe is possible? So I want to start off with a story. So back in 2011, I wanted to have a baby, and after trying to conceive for months, I was not getting pregnant. And then finally I got pregnant, only to have a miscarriage. I was devastated, and I thought that maybe it was not meant for me to have a baby. And of course, I was looking around, and there was people at my job that were pregnant and having babies. I had friends that were getting pregnant, having babies. And every time I would go out, I would see women walking with strollers, holding babies' hands, men holding babies on their shoulders. It seemed like everybody had a baby, but that is the way that life is. Like the things that you deeply desire the most show up, and that's what you tend to focus on, and that's what I was focused on. But I really wanted to have two kids. And I wanted to have two kids because I felt like I had so much love to give. So anyway, back to the story. So after the miscarriage, I was a little depressed, and I kept hoping to have a baby. And of course, like I said, I kept seeing babies and hearing babies, and people were inviting me to baby showers and things like that, because that's what happens. So if you're in that situation where there's something that you deeply desire and other people around you seem to be getting the things that you want, it's kind of normal. But yeah, back to my story. So I had to manage my thoughts as I was trying to conceive. And my thought was that I couldn't have a baby, that it wasn't possible for me, that maybe I was one of the few women that would never conceive and never have my dream of having those two kids. Then I stopped thinking about that. And at the time, I went to the Bible and I looked for a scripture, and I found a scripture that said that God had wanted us to multiply, be fruitful and multiply. And so I started believing that. And then I didn't stop there. I also believed that if I had the reproductive organs, then I should be able to reproduce. And so then I continued to have those thoughts instead of the disempowering thoughts of that, because it's not happening, that it won't happen. And of course, I was going to the doctor, and the doctor eventually had recommended doing like fertility treatments. And I didn't want to do that because I had heard that it was a lot, and it's expensive, and it is a lot. And so I didn't want to do that. So I decided that I was just going to continue to believe, continue to persevere and manage my thoughts. So then I started to like visualize actually holding my newborn baby. So I visualized myself being in the hospital and like holding him in my arms, like this. I was trying to hold the baby like this, and then I visualized kissing the baby like that on his forehead or whatever. And I just did that over and over. I probably had that vision like maybe, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 times throughout the pregnancy, because I did get pregnant again. And because I was pregnant previously and I had a miscarriage, I was, thinking that it was going to happen again. But every time those thoughts came up, I put that image in my mind, and I saw myself in the hospital holding a baby, kissing his forehead over and over and over and over and over again, until finally I delivered him. And yes, it's a him. So now he's 11. He was born perfectly healthy. Um, it was a long journey to get to conception, but it all ended up working out. So that was one of the things that I remember about, like, actually using like visualization to help with my mindset, so I was working on my mindset, like really believing that it was possible for me to get pregnant. And so after the miscarriage, the initial miscarriage, I was like, well, I got pregnant before, so I can get pregnant again, so that was my mindset, my thoughts. But your thoughts are important. Our beliefs shape our reality. And there's a profound statement that I learned like years and years and years ago. And it's always stuck with me. But it is, you become what you think about. And this means that your thoughts and your beliefs directly influence who you are and what you can achieve. And if you believe that you are capable of greatness, then you're most likely going to take actions to lead to success. And conversely, if you doubt your abilities, you hesitate, and you miss opportunities, if you think yourself out of things, then you're not going to be very successful, because it's not enough to just have a positive mindset. A positive mindset, in my opinion, opens up the doors so that you can take action and things will start to align and your desires will come to you. And sometimes they come quicker than others, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to come. But think about it. Every achievement, big or small, starts with a belief. When you see someone achieving their dreams, it's not just luck or talent, it's their mindset. They believe that it's possible, and so they took the steps towards it. And I like to do what I know to do. And then sometimes what happens is that I'll get like inspired ideas, like, something will come into my mind, maybe a dream, or maybe I'm sitting there and I'm meditating or watching TV or reading, and then I'll get an idea to call someone or to do something or to write something. And it starts there. Well, it starts with your mindset, because if you're closed down to the idea of this thing happening for you, then you're not even going to allow the ideas to come in. And a good example of that is like say a person wants to write a book and they said, well, I'm not really that great at writing. Well, you just close the door. You just shut it down. Or like you really desire to get a new car or something like that, and then you're like, but my credit's messed up, but things could happen where you can get the money and pay the car off in cash, or and then you wouldn't even have a car note, but there's so many things that could happen. You could inherit a car, someone could give you a car, there's an endless amount of ways that that car can get to you. But you have to have an open and receptive mindset and attitude in order to receive it, in order for the ideas, in order for the things to come to you, and for things to start moving in your direction. Changing your perception isn't always easy, especially if you held on to this perception or limiting belief for a long time. One of the good things about my situation with my fertility was that the doctor never told me that I could not conceive. And if the doctor had said, you got this thing going on and that thing going on, and so it's not possible, then that would have made my battle even more difficult for me to change my mindset and be able to believe that I could conceive. But it's not impossible. Just because the doctor says something doesn't mean that it's absolutely true, because things can happen. Miracles can happen all the time. I've heard people say that, the doctor said that they were too old, or that they didn't have enough, they were not producing enough, hormones or whatever, or their menstrual cycle was not right or regular, and so then they would never be able to conceive, and things happen. So I always, not always, but I try to tell myself, I try to catch myself when I'm thinking about, like, what it is that I'm capable of. And I say, well, is that true? And why is that true? And I like stop myself and say, wait, I want to do this, but it's too hard. Why is it too hard? Why do I think that? Like, what makes it too hard? And if I really think that it's going to be hard, then, if it's something that I really want, am I willing to do the work to accomplish it? So then there's that. But that's why journaling is so important. So incorporating these type of practices to reinforce your new beliefs is key. So like I said, writing in a journal is like paramount. It is like awesome. Meditating, like seeing yourself. And I think about meditation as basically just quieting your mind, and you might close your eyes, you might stare off into the distance, but really, for me, it's not a one way is the right way. But I like to meditate and visualize what it is that I want. So I think about the end result, and I try to do that all the time. Like, even with like things that I don't really like doing, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but like, I don't really like washing dishes, and my friends always tell me, like, well, don't you have a dishwasher? And I'm like, yeah, I have a dishwasher, but like certain things you may not want to put in the dishwasher because, like, they might melt, or might my sister's like, well, your dishwasher is too high, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, anyway. But like some certain things rust, and certain things, like, if they're really precious, they might not fare well in the dishwasher. But anyway, I don't really like washing the dishes, and so what I do when I think about wanting the dishes washed, and not wanting to do them, I will actually visualize the sink being empty of dirty dishes. And it's so crazy how this works, because you should try it if you don't like washing dishes or whatever. Like, you can visualize your room being clean, or visualize your car being clean, or like I misplace my AirPods all the time. And so sometimes what I'll do to find them is that I will just visualize, like, opening the case and then taking one out, putting it in my ear, and then hearing the sound that it makes, taking the other one, put in this ear. And it's like, the more real that I make that visualization, the quicker it is that I can find it. And sometimes it's like, I'll go on about my business. I might, go off and, do something else, watch TV or whatever. And I'll get a thought that, oh, your AirPods are in the car. Or like, I'll see them, in my mind, like, oh yeah, I left them on my headstand, right? Or my nightstand, headstand. So what do you believe is possible? What is it that you want to achieve? If you're like starting out on like visualization and like mindset, I would challenge you to, just try it with some things that are small, like AirPods. Like, if you misplace something, like if you can't find your keys, imagine holding them in your hand. Imagine, pushing the lock button or the unlock button. And as you do that, you'll get better and better at visualizing. And then also you'll start to build up the belief that it actually works. It really works. I'm trying to tell you it works. Like, I have actually been doing this for a long time, not even realizing, because like back in 2011, when I told you about, trying to conceive and not being able to conceive and then having a miscarriage, like I was visualizing and I wasn't like doing it on purpose. Like, I don't know. So I just realized, like, maybe in the last 5 years that, that I've been doing it all along, not even realizing that. Like, even like when my husband and I like bought our like dream house, I actually saw myself living in it before I moved in. Like, I saw myself, because we had this house, and I'm in the house now, but we had this house built, and the model home, I loved it. I fell in love with it like the first time that we walked into it, and then I think we visited it maybe like about 3 or 4 times before we decided that this was the house that we were going to have built, and this is the one that we wanted, whatnot. But long story short, I could actually see myself living in the house. I mean, we were in the housing market for like 3 years, and we probably had been to, I don't know, maybe like over 75, 100 houses. And I saw a lot of houses, went in, and that was a really good experience in terms of like going to the next level. So if you're looking to increase your living situation, go on open house tours. If you're like in an apartment, or if you're looking to move to the next level, go and check out those next level places. And that works for a car. You could test drive cars. And what happens is, in my opinion, is that the more that you do it, the more comfortable and more your brain says, hey, this is achievable, this is obtainable, and I could actually live here, right? So, yeah, so what do you believe is possible for you? And I want you to take a moment today, get your journal out, and reflect on the beliefs that you have that are consciously holding you back. I want you to figure out what it is that you believe that's stopping you from getting to the next level. Write those things down. And then once you write them down, I want you to analyze them and say, why do I think like that? What makes me think that I don't make enough money to live in this house? How much does it cost to live in this house? How much does it cost for me to have this? And remember, like I said before, there's a lot of things that could happen in your favor, but if you continue to have an open mind, those things can come, and they will like open up doors for you to get the things that you want. So as you change your thoughts, you'll change your life. And thank you for joining me today on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and share it with someone that you think might benefit from it, someone that might need a little bit of inspiration. Just to close the circle on my story, I do have 2 kids. I think I mentioned that in a different video. So my eldest son is 11, and my baby boy is 8. And ironically, the second pregnancy was like very quick. That I didn't have to wait, and go through a whole year of trying to conceive and all of that. It was very quick and quick. Yeah, I think the longest part of that was deciding whether or not that I should have a second child, because the first one, he was a lot in terms of like he just has like lots of energy, and he's a lot of joy. And he's got lots of energy and exhausting to keep up with, even at 11. So anyway, until next time, keep believing in yourself and loving life. That's that. I'm going to talk about that in another video about enjoying the life that you have now. But until next time, see you. Bye.